Hi and welcome back. So here we are on the client list screen and we've got our client sample 1, and now we're going to have a look at charts for this client. So let's just click on the client again, and you can see when you click on the client you're brought automatically to the session list screen, which is showing you all of the information relating to that client. And from here you can go to client profile, problems, charts, summary, etc. For now we're going to have a look at charts. So let's just click on charts for this client and we're brought to the chart screen. And here we've got quite a lot of information. So for example, over here we've got summary data, which is telling us the date the client started. Now, in fact, the date the client started is the date the client was entered into the system, which happens to be today. So that's important to know if you're inputting data retrospectively, that the day you create the client in the software will be the date that's reflected here. Clients had 3 appointments that have been attended, and the measures that have been used and the changes on those measures over the course of the time as well. So as we're looking on the screen here now, in the middle on the actual chart itself, we're looking for the moment at the core 10. You can see here, these are the chart controls over here on this side, and at the moment you can see what's selected as the core 10. And when that particular measure is chosen, what you see over here on this side on the legend on the y-axis, it's tracking from 40 down to 0. So the core 10 has a maximum score of 40 and a minimum score of 0. So this is what's reflected over here. And up here the key is that the core 10 is in red, and you can see this is the starting point on the 1st of December, 12th of December here, and the 4th of January here. And you can see what the cutoff line is of 11 for the core 10 as well. So according to this measure, the client has improved very much indeed. And now if we want to look at, for example, the PRN15, let's just click the PRN15 and refresh, and let's notice the difference. Now, because the PRN15 is given at assessment and completion only, you won't have a line connecting it up, because of course it wasn't administered at a session in the middle here. But you can see from the green dot what the original score was, and in fact if you hover over it, you'll notice that it tells you the day it was entered into the system and the score on that day. And I'm entering all of this information on this training day here on the 5th of January, so you can see the date is entered into the system here as well. And you notice now the legend has changed, the key on the y-axis has changed from 0 to 150, because the PRN15 has scores that range from 0 to 10 on each item, and there's 15 items, so that explains the 150. So then you can also look at your feedback if you'd use that, and let's refresh that now, and we'll see we had used the feedback, and the first score was 32 on that day, and the last time we used the feedback on the last session, the feedback was 36. And of course, in terms of measuring outcomes, it is really the outcome measures like the PRN15 and the core 10 are the more important ones. The feedback score is more to give a sense of overall client satisfaction and to bring your attention to how the client is receiving your treatment. And that's the purpose of the feedback. If we want to look at them all together, we can go show all. And what this does, just notice the change on the y-axis when I refresh. So it changes it to basically 0 to 100, and it just gives you a sense of where the scores are overall and how much improvement there's been. Improvement is always moving down towards the horizontal line. And that really is charts. As you get practicing with this, you'll notice how this works. You'll also notice, by the way, that if you've administered a measure, let's say, and you're filling in the information from paper, if there's no dot appearing on the chart, it means that you've missed out one of the questions. So you need to go back and look at which one you've missed out on providing the answer to. Equally well, on the feedback, these feedback dots won't appear on the chart if there's not some something written in that final text box. So you just need to put N in there if the client hasn't filled anything in, for example. And that way your dots will appear on your chart. Okay, thank you very much. When we come back, we're going to have a look at the summary screen for this particular client. Thank you.